Okay, so sharing my screen. Okay, so the next topic will be for the about the internet and the World Wide Web. So basically, amo na natin yung nagamit subong for any sort of familiarization naton, but we may know what the history of the internet and also on other uses kanya pwede naton gamiton, not only for just mga typical nga mga obra sa mga assignment and stuff mga tuon, but also for the other applications good as we go along for this subject. So we start with the discussion outline, wherein we explain the origin of the internet, how the internet works, explain the difference between the World Wide Web and the internet, explain and describe the features of the internet, how to connect on it. We also describe what is a browser and identify its browser features, and we also how and we also would know how to apply and use these browser features, and also describe other of the internet features. So for vocabulary addition, medyo may iba nga terms nga medyo madugo, but we would really need nga matun-an ini. Example natin is mga HTML ni hypertext markup language, the language behind sa web pages naton. The basic naman, address bar, browser, domain name, home page, host computer, host node, hyperlink, and also we have the HTML, HTTP or the hypertext transfer protocol, the ISP or the internet service provider, the OSP, the online service provider, the basic term of the protocol compared to kanina. We also have the TCP/IP or the transmission control protocol and internet protocol, and we also have URL or the uniform resource locator, the term web 2.0, the web page term, and the World Wide Web. And we start with the evolution of the internet. Again, no pa kanina by the simple development of a computer network. It can be traced back in the 1960s by the US Department of Defense by using ARPANET as the first version or the core version of the internet of the computer network that was developed. And over the next 30 years, the email functionality was added, and up to 100,000 computers was linked to this ARPANET as the core network naton. And the World Wide Web came into being in 1992, and the first browser, the Mosaic browser, was introduced in 1993. And as the impact to society as of 2007, 70% of all Americans use the internet. But today, 70%, mostly I think almost 100%, not only in America but also almost mga countries naton are using the internet for their own functions kung ano po nila gusto nila. So for the internet basics, the internet links networks of computers across the world. And the interoperability, the term that is the ability to make and model all computers to communicate. And we also have the TCP/IP, kung I mentioned kanina, when you set up your computer network. The TCP/IP, the transmission control protocol, and the internet protocol is their standard format for transmitting data across the internet. In the domain name, medyo I think familiar na kamo sa domain name, is the term to define and identify a site on the internet. I also have other terms here. World Wide Web, it is a subset of an application that makes use of the internet, and it is begun in 1990 by the development of the hypertext transfer protocol or the HTTP, which allow computers to communicate with hypertext documents or what we call as HTML as the basic format of the web pages. So if you notice, kung type out ka mo sa inyong browser, no, may aran na HTTP or HTTPS, that is the protocol that we use to get through the communication of the computer. And using these web pages and amo na itong language ang likod sina, the HTML as your basic document nga setup to display this document as you communicate through the HTTP. So manotice yung mag-type out kamo sang isa ka URL lamang tangin na nato, no. So HTTP dot really dot na HTTP colon slash slash www dot, so ang www dot, that is the World Wide Web dot google.com. So kung magdulo.com, ang .com is for commercial, manang shortcuts na commercial. So domain extension sa mana later on. So mag-type out sina, especially for its formal gid nga setup, amo gining ginatuon nato HTTP and then the www dot and the name and the .com or anong extension sa mga domain. So once it mag-type out mo sina kung anong display na magwa after sa result, mag-load ang result, that is the hypertext document. And ang HTML nga language amo nang function behind it sa code sa mga web page. So amo ni Mosaic browser naton 1993. It increased basically the number of people using the internet because of the Mosaic browser, because it is the first graphical browser nga na-develop sa aton nga sa history naton di sa internet. So if you notice, document URL document title naka-specific pa siya. And NCSA Mosaic homepage, yan naman ang URL niya. Naka.html pa, magiging pinaka-basic the document type extension for a web page is .html. So since naging graphical browser na siya, it became user friendly gid kag and therefore they increase gid ang number of people browsing the internet using that graphical browser. If I remember before, before si Microsoft nga ginabaligya before nga browser. Unlike sa mga free na sa dala sa installation ng OS, mayroon na before si Microsoft na specific browser nga backload mo gid for you to be able to access the internet. But then amo to na-face up na sa later on, since most of the OS developers, mga operating systems naton, mga Microsoft, mga sa iOS, nag-develop na sila sang ilang versions ng browser which can only have the users access the internet for free. Free installation, free usage. Then the web protocol I mentioned kanina, no? HTTP defines how pages are transmitted. Web page address is often referred to as the URL. So this is the URL or your uniform resource locator. So the first part is the address, indicates the protocol to use. So this is HTTP about the protocol naton, and then the second part identifies the domain name. So maning ang visual nga setup sang ginhambal ko kanina. This part protocol to use, the second part domain name. So if you notice sa mga advertisement, you just call it mga yahoo.com, ciblepacific.net, kaya mo na nato nga domain name nga identification, which you can directly type out sa browser nga URL page without the need to place the protocol to use. Kaya automatic na identify na sa browser kung ano ang gamiton niya protocol. Unless of course mayroon mga specific websites wherein you would use not HTTP, no, mayroon mga FTP, mga URTP, mga type of transfer protocol nga specific man siya function. So again, web protocols determines how pages are formatted and displayed. HTML. The hypertext is a text-based link to other documents and often called as a link. Ang slang term na is link lang siya, or hyperlink. And then a page is a web page, a text page coded with HTML markup text. So accessing the internet, basic na ginaton. You have to be connected in part of the network. So basically we use a local area network kung pareho sa aton nga workstation or sa workstation at work or a workstation naton sa computer lab. We use a local area network, so to connect them again to a limited graphical area. That's ang LAN nga server kato amo na to ma-connect direkta sa modem and then connect to the internet. So if you're using a basic computer system, you use a network interface card or a NIC that is inside the computer by using a cable, may cable connection man or Wi-Fi. Kung sa aton typical na kung mayroon ka mo na kung wala Wi-Fi built-in na inyong laptop or ibang computer nyo, you can use a Wi-Fi dongle, so that is sort of a embedded type of network interface card na ginagamit naton. So you can still basically define it as a NIC, ang aton nga Wi-Fi dongle, to connect to the internet or sa inyo network sa modem nyo. Now, to connect, locate an ISP or an OSP depending sa setup sa inyong modem, or you can have also a wireless internet service provider or WISP, and then use the software provided. Kung sa ato nagoro hindi naman ni software usually kung sa iban sa mga PLDT na you just need to access the ang IP nga ginatag nila kay dara na ng software naka-build as you install the ang ilang modem hardware. Then after that, once na connected na usually iban, you would just need a username, password sa account. Example, kung may nag-create na kamo sa account for your postpaid or kung prepaid, usually based on the load. Kung postpaid naman, ready ng connection, you just need to pay the amount of usage after sang mga cut-off period sang isa ka month. And then once na connected, you can use Chrome installing browser. So for UOS sa aton Windows 11, we have Microsoft Edge na muna ginagamit nila, which would not have you necessarily install Chrome sa inyo nga setup. But if you prefer Chrome naman nga software, browser gamito mo, just need to download it from the Google website, no. Pero subong tayo medyo improve na gid ang Microsoft Edge as compared before sa Microsoft Explorer naton. The IE, manang tawag nilang IE. Ano siya? Nahinay na sa. So by definition, Browser Basic is a browser, is a software program that you use to retrieve documents. So not only accessing these pages and files from the web, but also displaying videos, kung ano ba natin nga needed information, downloading files, files, not only text files, video files, and before music and any other functionalities that you need. So amo na yung browser natin ginagamit. So examples of this, and I'm sure you are familiar with this browser, no? Ari garo man yung kita, yung kita. Kung nabtan nyo pa ni. Ari pa ni siguro subong. This is for sa iOS na setup. This is Opera, Google Chrome, IE, and Mozilla Firefox. Now for the basic Internet Explorer browser window, sorry kung IE gyapon ni gamit but the similarities sang function niya sina sa iban nga mga browser naton pare-pareho gyapon. You can check here, medyo nila siya makita, medyo makita niyo pa or gamay. But you'd notice na lang orientation sa babaw niya sa browser window niya gid. It usually start with the title bar naton, ang kung anong current nga page nga gina-browse nyo, dili nagagawa ang ngalan niya sa title bar. And then ang next na line nga follow is the back and forward button, usually dili man nga functions, or kung sa ibang setup dili ni sa mga side depending on the browser nga setup, no. But pwede mo na saylon kung depende sa preference mo. And then it is followed by the address bar. Usually we would have functionalities ang menu bar niya is mababaw, but usually interchangeable man sila. So you have your address bar, ang tupad niya is the refresh button and your search box button. May magnifying glass, usually that is your search box. And then this is followed by the menu bar, mga file edit, view, and other tools nga needed diri. Either pwede na siya sa babaw, pwede man siya diri. And then after the menu bar is your quick tabs. Sili diri ang tabs or iban diri man sa babaw depending on the orientation of the browser. So kung sa IE naman diri na sila dapit. And then new tab button is here. Makikita mo na may plus sign usually. And the existing tabs are here. There's also an app na pwede kung damo-damo yung tab nga mabutang mo, you can align them as a multi-layer diri. but you just need to install that extension para nga makabutang. Usually kung mga iban din, hindi man kung mga mostly not needed tabs man, usually you will just close naman ang iban para nga mas matinlo sa tulokon kung mas post ni browse. And then after that, the tabs, of course, your document window, scroll bars, sa mga na set up if you want to scroll. Usually ang browser page is naka auto, unless na specific yung with sang document ka na, may mo na siyang scroll bar horizontal. But usually most of the browsing documents naton pag open naton, automatic na siya mag-adjust sa width sang inyong browser. So also may limit man na, unless kung naka full screenshot usually mo man and extended side, just kung example kung hasta lang diri ang whole nga page naton, ang extended side na will just i-kopyahan niya lang kung anong background gato sa kilid niya para ma-fill up ang document. And then after sang atong document window, we have the status bar. Usually for loading, no, makita mo kung load or done and any other information na needed, the sub information that are added to your browsing window. So ano yung set up, menu bar sa IE is file its option, tools, favorite, help, command bar, mga tools, research, autocomplete, mga maning function, address list. Usually display previous visited web page. Automatic naman ito yun. Kung sa default settings lang sa isa ka browser, you'll have cookies, tawag nila cookies, para ma-save sa previous nga browse nga setup. Pero if you want to save the web pages na gina-browse nyo, no, you can use incognito mode, ang mga tawag nila nga security, kumaga ano term nila na sa basta ang term na is for not saving the browse pages if needed. So by default, you can just type out the previously visited pages, or you can use bookmarks para nga save nyo itong important nyo nga data or nga web page nga needed mo to for your research, for example, and then have them arranged sa inyo nga bookmarking tab. So the home page, the first page displayed when you start your browser. Usually for a default setup, that is the Google, no, makita nyo kung nakawala mo install. Usually kung sa Google Chrome, ang Google homepage yan na pero may ginabutang nila. After sina, you also have your auto search. Ma-notice mo na if you type out sa inyong address bar, no, kung gina-type nyo pa lang, example kung type nyo man lang USA sa Agustin Neo LMS, siya na nag-automatic gwa. It will just suggest kung naka-browse na ka mo na previously sa mo nga page, kag ma-notice mo na sa browser kung how frequent are you using that page, no, kung may ka mag-login dira. Example, gusto mong everyday ka klase ka mo man login, or sa Google Meet, if you type out that address, ang auto search na bahala pagwa siya na auto-complete na i-try na ako complete. Now if gusto mo tong magyapon nga page tong URL, you can just basically click on the address bar para siya na lang dayon ma-load. It also helps naman nga para nga papada sa inyong obra, and having also the history button, no, mamaning siban. By default, ginasave na sa browser nyo inyong history dara, wherein kung aside sa bookmark yung function, may araman na sila nga list of previous websites nga you've visited among ilang usually 20 days default iban, but can be changed man sini depending sa usage mo. And favorites amoning sa amoning bookmark naton, it can be so term as favorites. Kung sa IE siguro is that they call it as a favorites. So usually they have a star, no, may star na sa iya nga next to its address bar. It allow you to designate a page as the one you want to visit again, and if those are you frequently nga mga in-access, no, you can have them as your favorites or bookmarks. And then content advisor, for newer browser, no, these are usually added naman. But if you are using mga vast na mga computer antivirus, may mga options na sila dira for safe browsing, para nga hindi ka mo mag-go sa mga phishing sites or any website na may mga virus or mga malware nga masala nyo ma-download. So this is the content advisor that provides control to the content. Example mo na may mga website nga ara na sila sa naka-red list na sa as sort of a hacking website, so the content advisor will automatically detect it and prevent you from accessing that website or page. So when you explore the web, your browser keeps a record of your sites among kagina. We can call it as disk cache, or kung sa history, or maybe cookies, ang tawag lang cookies ang browser or websites. And you can copy paste information for websites and using the save page no mayroon man the file save page kung gusto nyo ma-save tanan na data sa amo na particular web page for offline access na mo na inobra na naman before. If you want to research nyo hindi ka mo easily access sa internet, then you just go to the file save page to have the information for offline use. I think mayroon na di. This is the example, no, saving a web page. So Wikipedia niya ginagamit. He wants to save the main page, the home page of the website. So amo ning itang browser, if you click on file save, amo ning iyang save web page nga option, wherein you can type out the default file name kung pwede mo man islan. But the default type is usually .html, no? That is the website extension of our website, and then you just click on the save button, but before that you need to check on which in the local file location it will be saved. Now to download means transfer from a web server to another computer to your computer. So basically the term na download is the same a web page, not only hambal natin nga the website or page for example, but also having example na masave ka sa isa ka music, or masibawal, or you can torrent it, or saving video for example, no? So Google, from a Google file or Google Drive, pwede mo ma-save, you can term on it as a download. So lain-lain man ang setup siya, not only having from Google Files, no? Kung sa Google Drive naman mayroon madala options you can click to download, and sa ibang mga page you can also use kung sa mga web development file transfer protocol. So back access na kami sa isa ka website, then we will download the file directly from that access. So depende man sa magamit, but the term is so other features, a blog. So blog is short web blog, a web page na serves as a publicly accessible journal. We call it before as a journal, no? But today most blogs are usually used for commercial, no? And example business updates, any other news or information added na ginasulat nila, but it's mostly to serve as a updating features ng isa ka business website or any other organization nga produce na. For example, mga activities or news ng isa ka organization, you can use blog feature to inform na ilang members or ilang customers ng ilang activities. So chat room example is when you communicate in real time with another user group of users. So GC naton sa Facebook Messenger is an example of a chat room. Then emails, basic and direct mail, and it's one of the most popular services that we'll use, and basically one of the kumbaga din na siya popular, but also basic the necessity use in sending information and files from other users of the internet. Now, mention ko, a file transfer protocol is an internet standard that allows you to download and upload files, and at the same time may access na sila nga different, na not on the front page of the website but on the back page. And when we usually use softwares, or kung sa Google, kung sa domain naman meron na sila sa cPanel niya, or para kung meron man nga, you can also use a software such as FileZilla, no? You can download that file use that software to access the backend using specific FTP information. Tapos naman you can then access through the folders after connecting to that backend connection. So instant messaging allows you to communicate real time with online friends. Example with Facebook Messenger, mga chat na to na sa mga text, pwede man na to kung magamit sila. Pero mas popular gid sila nato nga Facebook Messenger, no, mo naman basically gid kay before wala man sa mga MRC, wala man sa mga chat nga software nga ginagamit doon sa ibang nga websites. Given that Facebook is mga pinaka best nga accessible at the moment sa aton nga era, no. So a mailing list, a group of people with certain interest. Usually if you have a subscriber sa isa ka website, no, they usually give you a mailing list. Usually if you want to access ng example ba ang topics nila, mamangkot na sila sa imo. If you want to go for the mailing list para first hand, maka-email sila sa imo sang group of list of topics nga ikaw gid or ang inyong group ang makauna with access to yon for you to read, no. So for example sa mga news, sila mo na you can sign up for a mailing list, even free man naman. You can use your email, no, for having to become a member of the mailing list, and then for a specific time or ma-schedule sila yatag ma-send sila sa mailing list sa imo. Ang mailing list na isenda nila sang news sina or any topic nga related dara with the group of people under that list. So ang basically kamo gina first hand nga maka know sa mga information without the need for you to check out their website, no. But they also have the link for that website, for example. And then you use group discussion forum type of the forum, if you call it sa forums, or a type of bulletin boards dedicated to a topic. Usually the most common example here is for Reddit, no. Kung kabalo ka mo sa reddit.com, is this sort of a discussion forum na sila, but they use threads and anong term yun, threads para maka-reply ka for specific topics. And iban man kung mga basic mga mga websites nga businesses, for example, for sa mga tech na mga websites, they also have their own forums naman wherein you can just discuss among the members kung ano mga topics related man sa mga website for your sharing of information and other resources. Online conferencing allows virtual meetings like what we are doing at the moment, naman ng Google Meet. We also have Zoom and ano pang isa ni sa Microsoft mayara para isang lipat to. That is a basic example of an online conferencing. And VoIP or voice over IP, using a internet connection instead for a telephone line. This is usually used by those sa mga call centers, no, who they use a software to imitate an actual telephone. Dogwa na tawag din sila sa telephone line nga US, but they use this a software instead to connect and call their potential clients sa US or any other nga area nga gusto nila i-kuhaan sang potential nila clients. So muna lang usually sa voice over IP nga setup. And to summarize, again, no one organization can claim credit for creating the internet. We can say that we can reference the US Department of Defense, no, pero they basically not part of a certain or a specific organization that can claim that they have created the internet in this setup. So the regions can be tracked from US Department of Defense, and its original name is the ARPANET. The first before it became a commercial internet, it was the ARPANET as the first name of the network. And the mosaic is the internet's first graphical interface, and connecting to the internet from a business, school, or organization. So you have a direct connection by a local area network, an NIC, or any Wi-Fi dongle if you need. Then the types of internet connections include modem, telephone line, DSL, cable modem, wireless, and fiber optics. And if you want to connect to the internet, you need internet connection, telecommunications software, and a browser for the web. And the term is interoperability. All brands and models and makes of the computer can communicate with each other. And the term protocol is a standard format for transferring data between two devices. And this TCP/IP, transmission control protocol or internet protocol, is the agreed international standard for transmitting data across the networks on the internet. So that's a wrap for this topic. Any questions? Wait, any questions or may share ka mga related man sa how your usage of the internet has become